What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the latest episode, and penultimate episode, in fact, of the slowest growing Battlebots podcast in all of creation. I'm your host, Jack Finney, and the man across from me, as you're all very well acquainted with right now, Australia's greatest export, the Mac. How you doing today, Mac?
What? Not even gonna try. You've just completely given up on the gimmick, eh?
Yeah, well, it's the penultimate episode, Mac.
Good, yes
The
it
fact
is.
of the matter is, all of the energy was knocked out of me by this episode because what an episode it was.
Yes, and for good reasons. It was brilliant, very brilliant episode. Very good episode.
Absolutely, this is one of the best episodes of BattleBots that we've ever seen. Just so many great fights after great fights. It's exactly what you want to see out of this stage of the tournament.
Yeah, like I don't think there was even a bad fight on the story. Like it was all hits.
Yeah,
That's about
like,
anyway.
the closest thing would be the highlights match, but that's pretty understandable.
Yeah.
But we'll come to that later. Anyway, yes, awesome lineup with an awesome main event set for this episode as we finally get to see the champs take on Minotaur.
Ah, hell yeah.
And just a fantastic lineup of fights here. Riptide versus Uppercut, Rotator versus Tantrum, Blip versus Jackpot, Black Dragon versus Hydra, Copperhead versus Witch Doctor, Soulblaze versus P1, Cobalt versus Whiplash, and the aforementioned main event.
And all
What a
star
lineup that is on paper.
All star lineup.
Absolute
All-star lineup.
all-stars. Yes. And it makes sense. It's like the top 16 of this stage of the tournament. So,
Yeah, top 16, yeah.
yes. Like the absolute elites among the elites for this season.
Hell yes. And we will get
Sadly,
into that.
we lost some great robots along the way, but yeah, great lead up to this, and yeah, without further ado, let's get stuck in. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I just realized you were going to say something.
No,
I cut you off while you were
no, it's so good, so good. I was just gonna say something. Like I was just gonna say, yeah, like they're all good. Like let's get into it. That's basically it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So first fight of the night: Riptide versus Uppercut. The rookie monsters up against the established, hard-hitting, pun intended, veteran Uppercut. And now this is the thing. I wasn't expecting Riptide to win this fight. I never bet against Uppercut because Uppercut is a fantastic machine and we've seen it inflict some of the most catastrophic damage to robots in BattleBots over the years.
Yeah.
Riptide made Uppercut look like fucking amateurs in this fight.
Yeah, they really did. Like, holy shit, dude. They
like,
ripped him apart.
All due respect to Uppercut. All due respect to Uppercut, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was when we saw that Riptide really is the real deal. Because, oh my god.
Yeah, like, God, like, the previous Riptide fights, they won fairly impressively, but, like, they hadn't had that, like, that legitimate moment. And this is that legitimate moment for them. They fucking destroyed Uppercut. A robot that is an easy fucking championship contender.
Absolutely. Like, this wasn't even a fight. Riptide just straight up devoured Uppercut in this one. Tore it to pieces.
It's
absolutely ruined the wheels.
It ate the wheels. It ate the fucking the wheels. The guts were spilling out of the wheels. It was fucking insane.
Protein powder all over the BattleBots. Now that was actually a very impressive thing because Mac, are you familiar with the foam tires principle?
No, I'm not.
Right, okay, so the idea behind the foam-filled tires is that if the tires get punctured, the foam kind of redistributes itself in order to compensate and prevent the wheels from deflating. That's why the Uppercut's wheels are full of foam.
Oh, okay.
Riptide hit it with such force that it just completely dispersed all of the foam everywhere.
That's fucking nuts.
Yes, I know, man. Like, this is the first proper egg beater weapon that we've seen on a heavyweight since Hobgoblin from Robot Wars that I can remember. There may have been one or two other robots that I can't remember right now, but this is the egg beater done on a heavyweight, perfected. Riptide has what is honestly one of the most devastating weapons in all of the lineup at this point, because as was pointed out, the way that the weapon is distributed, most vertical spinners in this show, they only have like an inch, maybe 3 inches of area to distribute the impact across. the egg beater on Riptide is fucking huge, and as a result, you get a massive shockwave every time it hits him in the right location. That's why it sent huge flying like it did. That's why it's fucking mauled uppercut in this one and just took its soul. It was fantastic to see, and
That's insane.
it really is awesome to see just such innovation among vertical spinners at this point, because Battlebots is kind of like oversaturated with vertical spinners, but seeing a unique take on it like this doing so well just warms the cockles of my heart.
Yeah, like we're getting at the point where there's like 3 or 4 like configurations that very reasonably can be championship winners now, like, instead of just like the 1 or 2 that like has always just sort of been there.
And of course, awesome. we can't take away from Riptide's awesome driving as well, because even with the power of that weapon, all the power behind your weapon in the world doesn't mean anything if you can't drive properly. And Riptide just, Uppercut is one of the most decorated drivers in Battlebots at this point. It's always incredibly well driven. Riptide, aside from, battering it all over the arena, it just would not let up on it. It was just completely outpacing it every step of the way. Just cutting it off like a boxer, which is appropriate considering it's up against Uppercut.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. And Riptide, the rookie monsters, go sailing on through into the top 8, and they very well could win it all.
They could. Honestly, yeah, like, I think the only... Oh, God, like, I don't want to say the only competition is Minotaur, but, like, it's very possible that their only competition could be Minotaur. And that's going to be a very interesting fight if we get it.
It really depends, because we'll come to the bracket a bit later on, won't we?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, I'm just going to look that up.
I should bring up the bracket as well. Yeah, like, brilliant fight, brilliant way to start the episode. Like, goddamn, just what like an exciting beginning.
We'll wait and see, because Riptide's next opponent is going to be, an absolute true test.
Oh, of course.
Is taking a look at the lineup, but we'll come to that in a minute. Right, the next fight on the other side of the bracket. Rotator versus Tantrum, and a match that honestly I was a little bit fearful for Tantrum going into this one. Because, Rotator has been on absolute point this season. It has been firing on all cylinders, tearing other machines to shreds. It's been incredibly well driven. And Tantrum has been doing its thing as always and, knocking people out left and right. But we did see up against Gigabyte, it did have some trouble, and we were a little bit worried about how it would do going into this one, weren't we, Mac?
Yeah, correct.
Because this was one where, despite Tantrum's pedigree, Tantrum actually legitimately did feel like the underdog coming into this fight.
Oh, yeah. And even during the fight, it felt like there were moments where Tantrum was on the back foot. They were definitely, they were very close to losing, like, in a few times.
Yeah, absolutely, because Rotator was coming in with its undercutter configuration mixed with its ground-scraping forks that are able to get under damn near anything. Like, we've seen it get under Beta using those forks, and indeed it managed to get under Tantrum a couple of times in this, and that is no easy feat, because Tantrum is one of the lowest to the ground machines, like, absolutely compact. It's near impossible to get under, but Victor Soto managed to do that. So it was incredible driving from both in this one. And so Tantrum did actually come out fairly strongly, scoring big hits in the early stages of the fight. Rotator managing to land a few hits of its own as well. Cool. Constantly, both of them very aggressive, very well driven. However, things nearly ended very, very badly for Tantrum at various stages of the fight because, although they were managing to get under Rotator, which is no mean feat, that is no small feat, that is an incredible achievement, getting under Rotator and hitting it as hard as it was with that puncher configuration. Little bits of debris were flying off of one of the robots, and eventually Tantrum actually managed to get high-centered on one side.
Ooh.
And as a result, could only turn in circles or not move at all. and it looked like they were going to get counted out on multiple occasions. But luckily, that beautiful little dual fist self-righting arm managed to save them from oblivion each time because they were so close to getting counted to getting the count started. And if they'd lost because they'd gotten high centered on a little bit of debris, I would have lost my shit, to be honest. I would have been incredibly mad.
True, and then the hands got cut off.
Yes. Victor Soto, smelling blood in the water and knowing that there was a possibility that that could happen again, moved right in and used his... Right, this is the thing, because Tantrum had actually managed to hit Rotator in such a way that it turned it upside down as well, which meant that the undercutter was now an overcutter.
Ah.
And that nearly ended really, really badly for Tantrum because Victor Soto, smelling blood in the water, moved the cutter right into Tantrum's self-righting arms and ripped them off. So if things went wrong again, it was good. It was good night for Tantrum. Yeah. And there was a possibility that, personally, if this had gone to the judges, I would have still given it to Tantrum, but it would have been very, very close, and I wouldn't have been surprised if they had given it to Rotator, based mainly off of the damage, like ripping off the self-righting arms and things like that.
Yeah, of course.
But Tantrum coming back, absolute blaze of glory, sticks to Rotator, slams it all over the place, and then lines up the perfect placement, fires the puncher as they're ramming him into the wall, and sends Rotator sailing over the wall into the one place that you can still get it out of the arena.
What a fucking beautiful ending! Like, holy shit!
It was storybook, a brilliant, hard-fought comeback victory that could have gone either way, and Victor Soto has nothing to be ashamed of because Tantrum is an absolute killer. It is like one of the big names to possibly win the entire tournament, top 3 in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and he nearly managed to pull off the win. It was just a beautiful fight. This was one of the greatest fights I've ever seen in Battlebots, in robot combat history, period, in fact.
Same. It was one amazing story told with this fight. One of just beautiful back and forth fight with a picture perfect ending. What more can you ask for?
Absolutely, just brilliant knockout, brilliant driving, brilliant strategy from both teams, and great sportsmanship at the end. Like you could tell, Victor was disappointed, but he was still able to go out with his head held high.
Yeah,
because he knew he'd had an amazing fight.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yep. And do we have anything else that we want to say about this fight?
No. That pretty much, we've summed it all up. It was amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, we come to the other half of the Tantrum scale. It's little brother Blip.
Oh, yeah.
Going up against Jackpot in the next eliminator.
Yes, and once again, you were worried about Blip.
I was, because I had confidence Blip could win the fight, but I was worried about the type of damage that it might get from Jackpot.
And we
because
saw
Jackpot,
a little bit of it.
Is a massive hitter.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that damage at the very start of the fight. But then after that, it was game over pretty much immediately.
Yeah. Both of them coming in with wedgelet configurations on this occasion, and Jackpot did manage to initially rip off a few of Blip's little wedgelets, but eventually Blip managed to get in underneath, give it a little toss, and turn it up and over in just such a way that it couldn't self-right, because it was all of the weight was resting on the weapon.
Yes, and sadly, Ace, the mini-bot, tried its very best to save Jackpot, but it just could not. It was too small.
You know what it was? It's like when somebody is in the bath and the cat comes in and thinks that their human is possibly drowning and tries to pull them out. That was the vibe that I got from little Ace trying to save Jackpot. And it's like, bless your heart for trying. But yeah, there's not really much to say about this fight. There wasn't a lot of action, but we saw a pretty convincing knockout by Blip on this.
Yeah.
It was a big opportunity for both. Blip using a conservative strategy that paid off on this one. And yeah, there isn't really much to say. It sucks to see Jackpot go out, but they still managed to make it to the top 16, and that's still an amazing achievement.
Yeah, I can see them coming back very strong next year.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, we're so close to possibly getting Blip versus Tantrum.
Yes. But hey, they
That's
have to
the
get...
dream.
Yeah, it is the dream, but they have to get past the other dream first.
Oh, yes.
Is that the next match, or is... What's the next match?
The next match is Black Dragon versus Hydra.
Yeah, so that... Yeah, the dream! The dream! This fight was... This was not a good fight for Black Dragon, hey.
Yeah, I thought that this fight had all the potential in the world in terms of driving, who has the better forks and wedge and everything. But it was a brilliant performance by Hydra, who quite handily defeated Black Dragon in this fight.
Yes, friend of the podcast, Hydra.
Yes, thank you to Jake Ewart for your shout out on our previous episode. It actually really means a lot to us that you took the time to listen to it. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We always jest.
And yeah, Black Dragon never really got a chance to properly get going. It managed to land a few hits, but Hydra was impeccably driven in this fight, constantly keeping its nose on Black Dragon. At some points, we thought that it might have been having drive issues, but with the benefit of hindsight, it was more just that no wasted movement and not allowing them, just not giving Black Dragon any opportunity to try and take advantage of mistakes or anything like that.
Yeah.
And eventually, Hydra's big flips on Black Dragon ended up paying off, because not only was Black Dragon noticeably slowing down by the end of the fight, it burst into flames again!
Boy, it's almost as if that happens every single fight.
Honestly, it's pretty spectacular. I mean,
Yeah.
Black Dragon is so sturdy that it doesn't really matter when it's on fire.
Yeah,
but,
it's
always an amazing visual.
Yeah, it never gets old.
Yeah, there was no doubt about how this fight was going to be called in the judge's decision as well. So, yeah, great job by Hydra. Moving on to the next round.
Yeah,
and
Hydra versus Blip, the bell of the goddamn flippers.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be such a good fight.
God.
I'm so looking forward to that fight, and I'm rooting for Blip, but I won't be. Well, I would be upset if Blip lost, actually. Because I want Blip to go all the way.
We put over Jake Ewart and then immediately say, "No, get out of here."
We love you, Jake, and we're sure you're gonna have an amazing fight with Blip. But, yeah, we're gonna be rooting for Blip, but it is a tall order for it to beat Hydra, because Hydra has come back so strongly after a disappointing early campaign, and has really demonstrated its power in the last couple of fights.
Yeah, but we will get back to discussion of that fight at the end of the episode.
Yeah. Right, now, next fight, Copperhead versus Witch Doctor, Battle of the Verts. Brilliantly driven machines with excellent high-powered weaponry.
Yep. A very quick fight, but a very good, a pretty good one as well.
Now, before we do that, something we need to highlight here.
Yep.
Cuddles wearing a hat.
Yeah! Oh my... Everything
More than
wear a
that,
hat.
not just Cuddles, but the mini-bots having hats as well.
There are two metas this season, forks and hats.
And I am all for that. More hats, please.
Every robot... Next season, every robot has to wear a hat, at least once.
But seriously, that looked absolutely amazing. The little mini-bots wearing, top hats. Fantastic. I loved it.
God, you love to see it.
As for the fight itself, it was a short and sweet fight. Some big hits and a massive hit at the start from Copperhead on Witch Doctor that sent Witch Doctor fucking backflipping across the battle box. It straight up did a moonsault onto the little snake mini bots as well.
It did a fucking Keiji Muto moonsault onto the fucking snakes. It's amazing.
Yeah. But a big recovery from Witch Doctor immediately after. They immediately came back, asserted themselves strongly, and managed to knock Copperhead's weapon and wheels dead.
Oh.
From what I could see, I'm pretty sure the impact destroyed the drive chains on Copperhead, which was what ultimately finished him off. And it was a real shame to see Copperhead go out, because I love Copperhead. Copperhead's one of my favorite machines, and one of the few vertical spinners who I absolutely love with all of my heart as well.
Of
Because
course.
I love drum spinners.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, going out against Witch Doctor is not a bad thing, because Witch Doctor is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, Witch Doctor is an absolute killer. I mean, it was the runner-up in a previous season, and it's always delivered brilliant fights as well.
Yeah.
And Witch Doctor, again, a very solid shout to go all the way.
Yeah.
But of course, that's going to depend on how its next fight goes, but we will come to that later when we get to the end of the brackets.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, it was a shame to see Copperhead go out, but there's always next year, and at the very least, they gave us a great season.
Of course. Hopefully,
And,
we see more snakes next season.
I will always love them for bringing Cuddles the snake along. She's such a beauty.
More snakes and hats next season, please. Thank you.
Yeah, please. Now, on that note, we come to the big bad Sawblaze versus the little engine that could P1.
I mean, the little engine that couldn't, because it didn't. Yeah. Yeah, this was another Sawblaze Pornhub video exclusive.
Yeah, my notes for this one was sad to say P1 has no chance here. Sawblaze is going to fuck him.
Yep. And they did.
That being said,
figuratively and literally.
P1 actually held up pretty well, all things considered. Like, P1 was pretty much coming in with tank grade armor at this point. P1 is practically indestructible in terms of being able to take hits. And I think Jameson Go realized that. That's why he didn't constantly swarm all over it and keep trying to break it using the weapon. Because I think he knew eventually that would just break his own weapon.
Yeah, he picked his moments.
Yes, he picked his moments, picked his spots. Still managed to get some big hits in. Completely controlled the fight. P1 did its best to fight back, but there really wasn't a lot that it could do, and especially after Sawblaze got one of the wheels and reduced its mobility. So Sawblaze comfortably cruises to a victory in this one. P1, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of here, though.
Yeah, it made it to the round of 16, so very good showing, and unfortunately, this might be the last time we see P1.
Well, it's a bit up in the air from what I can see, but yeah, having gone from previously having 0-2 records to going all the way to the top 16, P1 has been phenomenal this year, and great for them for lasting as long as they have. But as has been posted on Facebook earlier today, P1 is going on hiatus for a while they attempt to develop a new and unique weapon for it, because the writing is on the wall that unfortunately the four-wheel drive indestructible wedge with a lifter configuration is just no longer viable in the current meta.
Yeah.
With everything being focused on damage, yeah, there's just really P1 unfortunately is losing the point where it can remain competitive. So they're going to go away for a while, develop a new weapon, and then come back stronger than ever. And I look forward to seeing them come back because I love P1, the little race car that could. You did amazingly this year. My hat off to you. And I look forward to seeing you coming back.
So long, P1. Enjoy your retirement and your new job as delivering Amazon packages to people.
Oh.
Look, it can drive the packages and drop it off safely.
Oh, Mac. Dale Earnhardt is rolling in his grave right now. Yeah, that's right. I know a little bit of NASCAR. Not much, but I know some of it.
I know none of it. I'm sorry our friend Ryan can get P1 a job at fucking delivering packages.
Package one, if you will.
Yeah, hey.
Okay, so up next, Cobalt versus Whiplash. It was a match.
Was it even a match, sir? Was it even a match?
Basically, Cobalt gets a hit on Whiplash. Both of them somehow end up immobilized. Cobalt can't be safely switched off with the weapon still running, so it goes to the judges. Cobalt gets the nod.
Yep.
That's it. There's nothing to talk about here.
Yeah, this is probably the most disappointing match of the season, which is probably a good thing it didn't get televised, but yeah, that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, and
it happens.
previous runner-up now goes sailing out of the tournament.
Unfortunately, I wish
The
it had a
top
better.
end of Cobalt.
I wish it had a better chance, or at least got fucking ripped in half. But hey, this is how it just goes.
Oh, well, we've still got some stuff to look forward to with Cobalt anyway. Next
Oh,
week, they're facing
oh yes, yeah, we'll get to that.
and that is going to be a brutal fight. That is going to be brilliant driving from both teams, I'm sure.
Oh yes,
But
lad.
I'm hoping Cobalt loses that one. I don't want to see my boy Tantrum get ripped apart.
I mean, look, we'll get to that. We will get to that.
Yeah. Right,
Now-
okay, and with that, we came to the main event of the night. Minotaur versus Endgam.
And yeah. Oh my god. They
Oh,
They
man.
didn't have the E and they didn't have the W.
You know, Mac, you gotta figure them coming in at like 86% like that is probably why they got 86th in this fight.
Hey. Wait.
Oh
What?
man, we're on a roll with this today.
Yeah.
Now, this was the thing. Endgame, the reigning champions, coming in having looked absolutely unstoppable this entire season, and now they run up against Minotaur and oh my god, Mac, what can we even say here?
It was brutal. Like it was. Minotaur gave it to the champion. The champion.
Yeah, more than gave it to them. They went weapon to weapon, disabled the weapon from what I remembered, ripped the armor apart,
And
and just
was disabled. I'm pretty sure the weapon was not disabled.
yeah, okay, I'll take the loss on that one there, but yeah, they ripped the armor apart and
They did.
just completely they owned Endgame in this one. They just bullied them
They did.
all across the board.
Yeah, to be fair, Endgame did get some very good shots in it. It even managed to pop Minotaur up at one point, but
Oh yeah,
Min-
absolutely.
Minotaur-
I'm not
yeah.
saying it was like a complete demolition. Endgame actually did put up a fantastic fight as well, but Minotaur just completely outclassed them in this one.
Minotaur had a game plan. They came in and they dominated. They pretty much dominated the fight, and they got the
Yeah.
win. They got the big win over the champion.
Yes, they dethroned the champion to go cruising through into the top 8, and some of the driving in this fight as well, man. On top of all of the destruction, how about Minotaur fucking drifting around the Battlebots on one wheel
Yeah, gosh,
when it
that's
looked
some,
like Endgame was starting to get a comeback?
gosh, that's some straight up initial D shit.
Yeah, man, it was amazing. Just phenomenal performance here by Minotaur. Daniel Freitas just completely owning the Battlebots this season when he's been on, and you know he's got something to prove here. He's fighting for his mother and his grandmother, and he could very well go all the way. Minotaur is a massive, massive threat to win the nut this year.
They are. Oh my god! Like next week is gonna be fucking phenomenal.
It is. It may well be the best BattleBots episode ever.
It could. Like I honestly really want to see Minotaur go all the way. I want like
Yeah.
It's the story. It's the story of the season, and I think it needs to happen.
I think the only other robot I want to see win it as much as Minotaur is Blip.
Yeah.
For me,
Blip or Rotator.
You mean Tantrum?
I stand by what I said. I mean, to be fair, at the start of the season, I did say I wanted Rotator to win, but yeah, fucking Tantrum.
Okay, and with that, we come to the finalized bracket for the championship episode.
Yes. Okay, so let's start. Let's start on the left. We have Minotaur versus Witch Doctor.
Boom! What a fight that's going to be. That's going to be insane.
That is, yep. Two of the fucking best. Just going at it.
Just, it's gonna be absolutely brutal. The two best vertical spinners left in this competition, other than Cobalt.
Will Witch Doctor beat yet another babyface, or will Minotaur steamroll through to the semifinals?
Find out in the next exciting episode of BattleBots.
Yep.
Up next, we have Sawblaze, the established veterans who have been tearing everybody apart this season, versus the rookie monsters, Riptide.
This is gonna be super fucking interesting, because Swordblaze, super dangerous, but Riptide has proven itself, and I honestly, if it gets even a single hit on Swordblaze, I think they could actually win the match.
It's gonna depend where they hit them. And
Yeah,
Jameson Go is like one of the absolute best drivers in the game at this point as well.
True,
So if
true.
anybody can stand up to Riptide, it's Swordblaze. And who's going to win? Is Swordblaze going to slash and burn their way through, or Riptide going to pull off another monumental upset and go all the way into the top 4?
We'll have to wait and see. All right.
Next, we have Hydra versus Blip, the big villain versus the adorablest,
God,
the little blue bot that could.
this is pretty much like, this could very well be a chasing of the gods like match. Because if Blip can win, then it pretty much establishes itself as the best flipper on the show.
Yeah, pretty much. And the question is, do we think Blip can beat Hydra? Personally, I think it can. I think it's fast enough. I think it's maneuverable enough. I think the weapon has enough power, and it is impeccably driven as well. I think Blip could very well beat Hydra, but never count JQ out, as we've seen this season.
Yeah, still, like, Hydra's still a phenomenal flipper. Still in...
Absolutely.
Like, Blip has to avoid Hydra's flipper at all costs. It cannot go head-to-head like it did with, like, Black Dragon did. It has to try to get the sides. Like, it absolutely has to.
Pretty much. I think it's maneuverable enough to be able to do that. We'll see if it can get around the little wedgelets that are on the sides.
Oh, yeah.
But this could be it.
It could be. And then...
And finally, we have Cobalt versus Tantrum.
Oh, God. 2 dangerous robots. Honestly, I think like, we'll get into the, like, actual predictions in a bit, but, like, yeah, I think this could be Tantrum's fight.
Yeah. The absolute mauling machine that is Cobalt versus the little orange lightning wonder that is Tantrum, and it's too close to call between these two.
Yeah, like
I couldn't really call it between Rotator and Tantrum. Tantrum, of course, asserted itself strongly, as we saw. Cobalt had a bit of an inauspicious start this season, but it has been on a roll ever since. Could it be the one that finally stopped Tantrum? We'll have to wait and see.
Yes.
I'm hoping Tantrum wins, but I won't be surprised if Cobalt does either, so...
Yeah. Okay, so considering, like, next episode is going to be the final episode, we should, like, you want to do some predictions on how we think this is going to play out?
Yeah, okay, for sure.
Okay, so...
I see Minotaur over Witch Doctor.
Yeah, I see that as well.
And I see Swordblaze over Riptide, but it's very much down to the wire.
Yeah, okay, that's to be different. I'll go Riptide winning that.
That's fair enough.
Hydra versus
Blip.
Blip.
Over Hydra.
Yeah, I think Blip can do it. I'm gonna bet my money on Blip.
And I'm gonna say Tantrum over Cobalt.
Yeah, I think Tantrum, like, cause I think it's pretty much something. It's gonna depend on, like, if Cobalt can, like, get Tantrum up. If it can get it, I don't know how to word this, but, like, other than, like, that, if it hits it with its weapon, it'll win. Which, too fucking obvious a statement.
It's going to depend on if Cobalt can get in underneath Tantrum.
Yes,
Tantrum
yeah, that's a better way to put it. That's a better way to put it, yeah.
And Tantrum's also a very compact little tank as well, so
yeah.
Cobalt, really, if it's going to win, it needs to hit it in just the right location.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's like only if it can hit Tantrum's soft underbelly.
Yeah, and going from there, I think Minotaur is going to win the semi-final fight. And, okay, if we're going based on Blip versus Tantrum, then, like, shit. I kind of think Blip.
Yeah, I would personally put my money on Blip there, but I want both of them to win, so I won't be mad if either does.
Yeah.
If that's how it rolls.
Yeah. Are you guessing Minotaur as well for like that semi?
Yes.
Okay. And then the finals.
I think that, they would have learned from their loss to Soulblaze if they fight Soulblaze, and I think they can beat Riptide if they fight Riptide.
Ah, nice. And then the finals. So I'm thinking Minotaur for the finals.
Just to be different, then I'll pick Blip or Tantrum, whichever one gets to the finals.
Okay. Yeah, because I honestly think Minotaur's going to
It would be an amazing final either way.
Oh hell yeah! I think Minotaur's gonna go all the way this year. I think they've got it.
It very well could be their year.
But we'll have to wait and see for next week for the big finale.
Yes. Well, will Daniel Freitas get to hoist the giant nut? We can only wait and see. Now, with that, Mac, we will come to the awards this episode.
This season, yes.
The seasonal awards will be next week, which will have some little variations on the type of awards we've given out already.
Yes, we need to decide that as well.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll work it out.
All right.
Now, so I do believe we did discuss some of the awards in advance, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So how about we start with Knockout of the Night?
Knockout. Oh.
Tantrum versus Rotator.
Yep. Cause like the only other one that reasonably could be it is Shadow versus Riptide. I'm not Shadow. It's fucking Uppercut versus Riptide.
Yeah, but I think that ultimately the finish of the KO, the finish of the fight was ultimately what gets the circumstances are what matter here.
Yeah, exactly. Like
because Riptide defeated Uppercut by knocking it out by disabling its wheels, whereas Tantrum straight up tossed Rotator out of the arena.
Yeah, and beautifully too.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, right. I agree with that.
Okay, so underdog victory of the night.
Oh, Riptide.
That's Riptide, yes, handily. Riptide gets the underdog, the Spike Dudley nod.
Oh, hell yeah.
Best performance in a losing effort.
Oh, that's a good question. I want to say Endgame.
Yes, Endgame. Because they did give a heroic fight back to Minotaur. It wasn't enough to win it, but yes, great job by Endgame. Best performance in a losing effort. Do we have an honorable mention for that as well?
Oh, Rotator.
Yes, Rotator, of course. Coming the closest we've seen to defeating Tantrum this season, other than Gigabyte.
Yeah.
Now let's see. Best driving.
Oh, Minotaur easily.
Yes, Minotaur completely owning Endgame. Easily gets the best driving nod this week.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, fight of the night.
Oh, I mean, it's got to go to once again to the second fight of the night. Rotator versus Tantrum.
Absolutely, with an honorable mention to the main event as well.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was actually quite close between those two.
Oh, yeah.
But ultimately, Rotator versus Tantrum is one of the best fights of the season. One of the best fights ever. And there's a full Mac. In the awards next time, we may have to crown like a fight of the year.
Yes, we do. We absolutely do.
Yeah, and best driver of the season as well. And stuff like that. Oh no, there's going to be a lot to discuss. So expect a long one next time.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
Okay, so on that note, do we have anything for the off-topic section of the week?
I don't.
The only thing that I would have to talk about is that I am seeing Sonic 2 today.
Ah, very nice.
So I will probably let everybody know my thoughts on that next week, but I am very hyped and looking forward to it very, very much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like we don't really have anything else to talk about.
Yeah, the only other thing is that I finally beat Dark Souls the other day.
Oh, okay. Tell us about that. How did you feel?
Well, it was a very, very frustrating game.
Yes.
It is also one of the best games I've ever played. It was a fucking wonderful experience. Even if I
Oh.
did nearly throw my controller a couple of times. Surprisingly, I didn't mind all of the deaths, you know? It was more just due to frustrating stuff like when I had to do platforming and everything, because unfortunately the platforming angle of at least the first Dark Souls, I can't speak for the others because I haven't played the others, is a bit wonky.
Ah, yeah. Are you a fan
Like
of...
earlier on, I was actually redoing part of Anor Londo just to redo some more stuff, and ended up falling off a walkway because I rolled at the wrong point.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Unfortunately, I'm the mayor of what happened to my boy Black Iron Tarkus.
Ah, yeah, we love Iron Tarkus. He's a fucking man.
He is. Oh man, just an absolute legend.
Are you a
But yeah,
fan?
I don't really have anything else. I don't really have anything else to say other than yeah, love the game, and I look forward to playing the rest of them at some point.
Are you a
I
fan?
know I'm 10 years late to the party, by the way, everyone.
Are you a fan of that one skeleton in the catacombs that ambushes you and knocks you off?
Oh god, I don't think I actually ran afoul of that one.
Really?
I think
Because that's one of the most notable ones.
well, it's because by that point, when I went back down to the catacombs and actually did like the Tomb of the Giants and everything, I was actually already very, very high leveled.
Ah, yeah.
So as a result, I wasn't having much trouble with the catacombs at that point.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week, everybody.
Yeah.
Next week,
where are you gonna play next, by the way?
I don't know actually.
Good. I'm gonna once again put it on tape and say once again, play Bloodborne.
Yes. I need to get it first.
Yes.
And I've also got other games I need to finish playing first.
Yes, but Bloodborne.
I've still got to play Judgment, and I've got Persona 5, and I do want to play Bloodborne. Don't get me wrong.
Bloodborne. Jack,
I'll do it eventually.
Yes, but Jack, let me just tell you this: you'll fucking love Bloodborne for both its setting and fucking its gameplay. Because if you already love this game, if you already love, yeah, true. If you already love this game, you've got to fucking think that Bloodborne blows it out of the fucking water. I think.
Yeah, to be honest, I may just wait until Bloodborne gets its inevitable remaster, which I believe is in the works.
I haven't heard anything about that, but like maybe there might be.
Because I heard it was going to be getting a PS5 remaster at some point.
Actually, yeah, probably.
So if it does, I'll probably get that, but I will get it at some point.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, you don't even have a PS5.
No, but I'm going to buy one when I can.
Yeah, in like,
when
in like 90 years, when they fucking release some more. Luckily, I am lucky to have gotten on the ground floor with a PS5. Unlike the smarks who didn't. Who had to struggle to get one. I'm still super lucky that I managed to get it, because like I almost missed out on like the pre-orders to get it, because like an hour like after the pretty much after the conference like ended for that, like I went to bed, but like I woke up an hour later and saw that the pre-orders were up and like managed to get in. So like I almost missed out. That was fucking crazy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the episode.
Okay, so yeah, that's everything for this week, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you next week for the final time as we discuss the championship episode. We cover the seasonal awards, and we discuss the uncertain future of this podcast, which, to be fair, probably will not be returning due to circumstances being what they will be next year.
It will. No,
because I will be living in Japan, and it will be much, much harder for me to be able to access this sort of stuff because Japan has much more stringent copyright laws.
I mean, look, I will be the one. I will be the hero here. I will sort it out. We will be back. Trust me, we will be back.
All right. Okay. Until next time, everybody. He's Mac. I'm Jack. We love you all. Take care. Stay safe.
Bye bye.
Bunch of marks.
Fucking, you can't just do that immediately. I told you not to do that. Jack, you
say it with love, man.
You lying bitch. God. I'm actually leaving this in now.
I just realized there was a bit I was gonna do, but never mind.
Well, no, actually, no, I'm not. I haven't ended, so do it.
I was gonna wait until I thought that you'd finish recording and say, "Well, Mac's a pretty handsome guy," you know, so that nobody heard me say it.
No, fuck off. Okay, bye.
We love you guys. Take it easy.
Bye. Yeah, now you know what we do after every fucking podcast. This is what he does after every podcast. Oh god, okay, yeah, see ya.